Hello everybody, my name's Shalice. Welcome everybody to my Supernatural Season 15 review. Here's the thing everybody, prepare for an epic rant. Supernatural Season 15. This show has been on for 15 years. And I gotta say, this season has to be the worst. This is downright bottom 2 for me. Oh my god, I could not care. God is a villain. God wants to be the author of his own story. He wants to cancel the show. He wants to be the hero and Sam and Dean are the villains. Where did I even remember this certain storyline? Oh yeah, this was the epic storyline of Season 9 with Metatron. You know, an actual good villain, not Chuck. We're repeating the same storyline. Okay. But it's God, so it's a bigger threat to the Winchesters. No, it's not. Because Team Free Will is going to survive and save the day. Of course they're gonna win. Of course they're gonna beat God. You know how many times... My God, I had like a brain aneurysm for a second. Why do people were excited that God was the villain for this season? Why? Above all, why were they excited that God was a villain? We all know the Winchester's gonna win. So we're gonna have to see them mope around where Dean and Sam Dean's like, Sam, we can't win. And then Sam's like, Dean, we can. You just gotta have hope. You just gotta have it, Dean. And Dean eventually comes around. They eventually get some hope. Then they lose their hope. Then they ultimately win at the end of the day. It's the same old supernatural formula that we have for 15 years. I'm not one of these dumb fangirls that's going to take everything that we get and be like, oh, it's so great. Oh, it was a part of us for so long, for 15 years. Shut up. You could be on for 15 years, but you have to have good storytelling. You can't just dismiss things. They brought Lilith back for one episode. Everybody was so excited. Lilith was back. They did devote an entire episode for her. Next time we see her, she's killed off in less than 2 minutes with Michael. Michael returned. Also their brother Aaron is there. He returned. They forgive each other. Then episode 19 comes along and Michael's killed off the most stupid reason and betrays the Winchesters just so he could get back in the good graces of God. Lilith and Michael. Oh, they brought Lucifer back too. One episode. Even though, it kind of didn't make sense. Because, in Season 14, he technically woke in the empty. And for some odd reason, the empty hasn't kicked out Lucifer yet. Because he's up. His eyes are open. Okay. Another supernatural lore broken. But whatever. Whatever. You want your fandoms, just shut up. And just watch it and enjoy it. That's what they're all trying to tell you. Supernatural had died a long time ago. And I'm not talking about for storytelling. I'm talking about it's no longer... The Winchesters could defeat anything. They were superheroes. So you think that they have to lose, they're always going to win. Don't you miss the days when they lost? Remember the epic season 3 finale when Dean went to hell? And that's how the show ended that season? Fucking fantastic. They always win. And the ending, they had COVID restrictions, they had a lot of problems, and they had to deal with the best they can. I ain't gonna fault them for the finale, but it wasn't the best ending. Could it have been better? Could the entire season been better? Absolutely. But this entire season, God just wants the Sam and Dean to be canceled, their show gone. I don't really need to get involved with the lore because it doesn't matter. They don't respect their characters. Oh, what? Arthur Ketch comes around so he could just die off and he has a little fling with Rowena for like a second? God's destroying the alternate universes, so I guess we're ignoring the season 13 arc of the apocalyptic world. Michael and Lucifer are right about God being a dick. God or Chuck being a dick. Lucifer was saying like, oh, God's a villain. Amara saying God's a villain. Yes, he was. But did we need him as the final villain for this final season? No, we do not. If we never saw Amara or Chuck again, I would have been okay. I didn't really care for Amara or Chuck. And again, the whole Amara, they ignore so many of their own storylines, their own plot lines. It just doesn't make sense. Why should I care for a show that stopped caring a long time ago with its lore? When you're going to make the characters invincible, what's the point? What's the point of even... Again, I love this show. I will always love this show. It's been on for 15 years. The final season is shit. Okay, Charlie came back. Eileen came back. Sam's hopefully got together with her and they had a kid together. Hopefully that's the one. Because I didn't really see her in the finale. So hopefully they got together. some guess Kevin Tran returned for a bit. Some other characters return again. Again, their brother Aaron with Michael, they return. They return and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that happened in this season. There are some great moments, but some of my favorite things about the season didn't necessarily had to do with God. It was just like one episode doing a thing for like the Hustler, where Dean's just playing pool. That was a good episode. The one where kind of like a Roadhouse stuff, where Dean is what meets a former hunter. That's a former hunter friend of his who's now dealing with monsters, and it's just a good episode as well. There are some good episodes, but in reality, again, there's just certain things I just don't understand. Rowena becomes the Queen of Hell after she died in episode 3, and then for some odd reason they decide to change the look of Hell in the final freaking season. Don't get me wrong, the new version looks cool as hell, but for the final fucking season, why should I care? Why should I care for all this stuff? Oh, Cassiel's got taken by an empty. This show had a lot of great moments. I'm not disagreeing with that. The show had a lot of great moments this season, but again, the main villain is God. What's the whole point? God's gonna lose. The characters, everybody's gonna live at the end. Everybody's gonna get their lives back for the most part. And at the end, it's gonna be a happy ending. And them dying is not like a bad ending. Sam and growing old, Dean dying in this one way, which again, you kind of take away the stuff because to me, I wouldn't have them die. I would not have them died. I would have them continue going on the road and saying we got work to do. I would not have even God as the villain of this season. I would rewrite the second half of season 14 and this half. Jack, what they did with Jack, he's a new God, okay, I don't care. Do we care for any of this, truthfully? Did all of you people just love the Sam and Dean's, all the conversations, how they're so down and out, they're down on hope, and then they're going to get back up, then they're going to rise up, then they get back, they get brought down again, then they're going to rise up again. It's the thing about Supernatural, they didn't go down. When God was punched them, they didn't go down, and they just kept getting back up and up and up. And they always find a way to win, because Team Free Will must win. It would be great if they didn't win. It would be epic. And it may not for them to die, but have the show end on a bleak note. They lost, and then they cut the black. That would be like, fuck, I don't care. Do some Soprano shit. This whole predictable thing, I just was not looking forward to this season with God in general as a final villain. The fact is, Chuck, again, you have an overpowered character. Amara's not going to help you. Jack, they found a way to make it a sense for their lore and all this stuff, granted, but still. Why should I care for characters who are constantly being told they're being brought down, they're going to get back up, and they're ultimately going to win at the end of the day? This season was downright skippable. I will be doing a different ranking systems, but overall, I didn't care for this final season. They had like maybe 5, 6 episodes I liked out of 20. And I say the rest, like, I liked half of those episodes. Like, there was some good, there was some bad. It's just, again, this show's been on for 15 years. I love this show. But when the show for the final season is trying to make the audience feel like it should be taken seriously, these moments should be taken seriously, then they should have stuck to the original way it was supposed to be Supernatural. That the characters are not superheroes. That the characters cannot defeat everything. They lucked out in season 5, and all the way from season 1 to 6, I didn't feel like they were superheroes. Season 7, it kind of went overboard, and then season 8 was definitely a rebound for sure, but it's just kind of, the spookiness went away. The demons weren't scary. The demons weren't scary anymore. They're jokes now. The angels, they were like so mystical beings, and we were so terrified of them, then they became popping jokes along with the demons. When you treat everything as a joke, when you treat everything less seriously, when you don't have the special effects to make these scary moments feel scared, or when you have our characters, let them feel scared, let them feel like they have fear in them. But if they go around and go, oh, we got this, I'm like, oh, like we could punch a couple demons and we're gonna survive. That shit right there just kills Supernatural. The realism is gone, and I know this show didn't had big realism and all that stuff. I know it's a supernatural world and it's not realistic, but it's in our times. Sam and Dean can't take 500 bullets to the chest, but that's not what they're doing. They could defeat anything and everybody. They're so agile. They're so quick. It's just stupid. To me, this season, season 15, they tried to take things seriously. They tried to do so much to make people believe and feel all these moments of the final season. But the problem is, though, you should have made us feeling that in previous seasons. You should have made the threats feel more real. You should have made the effects more real. You should have made them more scary. You have to make our characters fail. These characters are whole, completely whole. How about one thing? Have Sam or Dean lose a limb. Make sure they're not as pretty as they once were. Make sure they have some bruising. Maybe they have some scars. Show something different. It's the same old buddy cop things. Show growth. Everybody hated season 6. I love season 6. Dean was with a kid. He was having a happy life. Granted, he was with Soulless Sam, but there was at least a difference, and it was a different type of Dean Winchester, a father who was watching over Ben and Lisa and all that. And I know later on he becomes like a father figure to certain characters, but there's a difference. This season is just the same old same. Oh, we're against the ropes. We can't do it. We're going to eventually do it, and we're going to survive because for Team Free Will, once again. Season 15 of Supernatural was just, to me, a waste of time. It's a one-hit wonder. I mean, not one-hit wonder. This is... I just saw it recently again on Netflix. I'll buy the DVD, just had the entire collection, because I nearly have every single season of Supernatural. And I would give this a C+ or B-. As a final season, this was piss poor. Season 5 had an ending better. Season 11 had a better endgame arc. This... Again, once you have God as a villain, there's nowhere else you could go. When you have God up there, there's no other higher one. If they could be all the other stuff, archangels and all the other shit, of course they're going to defeat God, because they've been climbing the ropes and they're going to reach to the top of the ladder. So to me, this final season, again, they didn't respect their characters with Lilith, and Archangel Michael, Arthur Ketch. There's just so much I didn't respect of its own lore. Granted, I like the little cameos of Gar. I like the Garth episode. The actress that played Meg returned as an empty. Both Sam and Dean Winchester's wives have reappeared again, which we really didn't need. But overall, I enjoy Supernatural. I always will. It's just, I feel like I'm repeating myself. It's just, I cannot believe this show ended on this note. It had some great moments, yes. The Cassiel and Dean moment, epic. This show had epic moments. This season had epic moments. This season has some good heartstring moments, but overall, it wasn't the greatest show. It wasn't. Not the greatest show. It wasn't the greatest season. It's not the greatest finale. This was just fan service to the fans that have been there for 15 years. But if you wanted logic, if you wanted sense of the lore, but if you just wanted a good old happy ending, or you just want to see Sam and Dean win the fight another day, then that is for your type of fans. Me, I'm one of the fans of Supernatural, got into it because it is the lore, the scariness, the bond of brotherhood. Granted, they still had that. It's just they milked it for all they were for 15 seasons worth of milking. But yeah, everybody, let me know what y'all think. What you think of the final season? You think it was a great season? You think it was an okay season? You think it was a bad season? You think you think this season was just overall a giant waste of time? Because again, God's a villain. Let me know what y'all think. My name's Jalise. Alfred, everybody. Bye-bye.